call vote.
Start that over again, Brad, please.
Okay, I'd like to open the meeting with a roll call.
Okay,
Call.
Director Smith,
Present.
Director Shelters,
Present.
Director Little,
I'm here.
Director Yost,
Here.
Director Castle. Here.
Okay, next is the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Item 3 on the agenda is adoption of an agenda, and I'd like to make a couple of additions to the agenda, or changes. Number 1, we have September 10th for the approval of the meetings, minutes of the meeting of September 10th and October 10th. So we'll change that. And then also, after number 4, the approval of the meeting minutes of October 2014, we need the minutes, we're going to do the minutes, approve the minutes of the special meeting that was held on October 17th. And continued on October 8th. Oh, excuse me. And continued to October 21st, I'm sorry.
And the minutes of the regular meeting are actually October 8th.
October 8th. Okay. Right. And next, it didn't make it on the agenda, we have a discussion and action on the audits. All of the audits, just a discussion. So I'd like to add that to the agenda. Let's see. Where did I put it? I believe it's going to be between 13 and 14. Between items 13 and 14. Okay. And that's all the items I have to the agenda. Anybody have anything? Okay. Moving on, we have approval of the meeting minutes of October 8th, 2014.
I'll make that motion.
Motion made by Jane Little, accept the minutes as they are for October 8th. Seconded by Blake Shelters. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Okay, next, then it would be approval of the special meeting minutes of October 17th that continued on to October 21st.
I'd like to suggest a change in those minutes. In the body of the paragraph 5, I think we need to make it clear that the reason we didn't take action on October 17th is because we had no document available for review. The special meeting was called to authorize the general manager to sign a document related to the insurance claim, and we didn't have the document at that meeting, so that's why we continued it to the next. We adjourned the meeting and continued it. That's not in the minutes.
Did you get that, Jeff? Okay.
Okay, so my suggestion is that if you look in the body, when it goes down to General Manager Lawson has had communication with both attorneys that represent the districts in this matter, and they both agree that this is a fair settlement under the circumstances. Right there, I think we should add, no document was available for review. The board refused to authorize signature on a document it had not seen. Then it goes on to say that we continue to move on.
Okay. Good. Great stuff. Anybody else have any? Okay, we'll make a motion to adopt those minutes. Motion that we adopt the changes in the minutes as read by Jay. Okay. Blake Shelton made the motion to adopt the meetings, the minutes of the meeting as amended by Jay. I'll second. Seconded by Matt Castle. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Oh, excuse me, Mike, you have something?
The record should show that I abstained because I was not at the 7th.
Oh, okay.
Brad?
Yes.
The microphones are not working very well, and the recording is not very strong. I don't know what's wrong with the setup, but if we try to speak up and help with the recording.
Okay.
Okay, moving on to item number 4, is public comment. Let's see. Oh, sorry. Public comment number 5. The public may address the board on any item not on the agenda. Pursuant to state law, the board may not discuss or take action on non-agenda items except under special circumstances. Speakers should limit their remarks to 5 minutes or as decided upon by the chairperson. Any public comments? Yes.
Todd Anderson, Crescent Mills. I'm going to speak kind of loud to make sure that recording makes sense. I attended the district attorney's meeting on the 20th of October here. And in that meeting, it was revealed that the auditor, the county auditor / controller, is a very important job, that controller position. The county's been releasing funds back to this community service district without audits being performed. It seems to me this board could go after that county auditor on her bonds for the restitution. That would be fraud. That is one of her jobs, is to make sure those audits were performed before any money was released back to this community service district. I think in light of the document that Jesse handed out with the time frame, when loans were missed, the IRS seized $54,000 of the funds being held over there by the auditor controller. She had full knowledge that no audits were performed. So to this day, how is any money coming out of the auditor controller being released to this community service district with no audits being performed? That's fraud. And the county does have fraud insurance. So I think this board should seriously go into closed session and consider going after and ask the district attorney to go after Sean Montgomery, who was the auditor at the time. And then, according to the documents that Jesse handed out, this board found out in May of 2012, she resigned immediately. The board of supervisors accepted her resignation on June 1st or May 1st, and became active on May 8th. There's definitely something there, and they're required to have a bond that would pay the restitution, and which would help out the rate surveys that Jesse is working on, so that you're not sticking it to all the ratepayers here in Greenville and all your ratepayers and charging them twice, because you've already charged them for services you didn't render. All those bills that they received had service charge, supposedly paying off loans, paying insurance, paying the fraud insurance. You weren't doing, because Leanna Moore was stealing the money. Now you're accountable. And this district attorney was it was a total fraud when he came in here and tried to say that Leanna Moore circled the wagons and everything led back to her to be able to cover this up. That's physically impossible for her to cover up the Plumas County auditor / controller. Read what her job description is. Controller means she's the watchdog. She makes sure that all audits are performed prior to releasing any property tax or assessments to property. So, please take a look at it. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other public comment? Okay, moving on then to director's report. Do any directors have anything to report? Okay, moving on to item 7 is a committee report. The first committee report is personnel and planning.
The Personnel and Planning Committee did meet. General Manager Lawson was there, Director Smith and myself were there, and 2 members of the public. There was only one topic that we covered extensively, and it's something we've been talking about a lot in the past, is the idea of having the general manager hire another position, which we desperately need. And Jesse says the money is not available, and he's working on, put out some advertisements, he's working on hiring somebody, so we should all be real happy about that. That was the only thing we thought about.
I'm sorry, did you say the money is not there, or it is
The
there?
money is there.
Is there? Thank you.
Jesse found money that we can use to hire somebody.
Okay, thank you, Mike. Next is finance.
Excuse me.
Okay,
Are they going to get full medical benefits as well? Or
They'll
do they
get
get a
everything.
partial medical benefits?
they'll get everything that all the employees get.
Okay, 'cause, you know, I keep hearing that we're broke, but we're hiring people and we're giving them full medical benefits, which seems odd to me if we're broke.
The finance committee did meet, Mr. Castle and I, and quite a few people from the public. And we went through our full financial statements that our accountant, John Grove, gives us every meeting. And there are some things that are rather eye-opening among them, and probably most salient, is that the repairs for the fire department, they've only used 1.2% of their allocation. Meanwhile, we seem to have difficulty maintaining our fire trucks. So we need to start looking into that.
I'm going to speak on that very quick.
Other than that, the budget this needs some tweaking, but we're making great progress and we're tracking all of our costs.
Thank you. Next is IVASA.
The IVASA committee met. We had a special meeting on October 29th. The IVASA is Indian Valley Ambulance Service Authority. We had a special meeting because the time had come up for us to renew the contract with Mountain Life Flight and South Lassen Ambulance for the medical services they provide in the community. And we don't meet again. The IVASA only meets twice a year, and our next meeting is January, so Chairman Guy McNett called the special meeting. The president of the meeting were the chair, Guy McNett, the community members, Tanya Heinrich and Dan Litchfield were there. Jesse Lawson, the general manager, and Jeff Kipton, the office manager, there, and Director Smith and I were there. And Brian Gray, the Mountain Life Flight manager from Susanville, was there. And I'm happy to report that we have now renewed a 5-year contract with Mountain Life Flight South Lassen Ambulance to continue the helicopter flights and the ambulance service for another 5 years through 2019. The other thing, since that's what we meant to do, we had a couple of other business businesses that we attended to. We authorized the payment to the Indian Valley Community Service District for the administrative services that they do over the course of the year. And the third thing was that we authorized the IVCSB to mail out a Mountain Lifelike trifold, this little ad that we have, trifold ad, Mountain Lifelike explains how they operate. And this is going to be mailed to, going to be put into the water bill and the wastewater bill so that everybody should get a copy of it. There are just a few changes that were made, some telephone numbers and some other things, and there's going to be a website on there. And we encourage everybody to read this. This explains why it is that we pay $45 a month per household for this service in the community. And there's an additional service that you can purchase from Lifelike for $45 a household or $35 a household if you're over 65. That will cover the transport if your insurance doesn't already cover it. So that's worth knowing about, because a flight in a helicopter can cost many thousands of dollars. But you'll be able to contact them directly and ask them about it. So look for this in your bills.
And also, they have had trouble in the past sending out renewals, and they claim that they're resolving that problem. I know myself, I didn't get a renewal notice. Sort of take a shower.
Did we miss anything, Tony? I'm sorry, not a month, $45 a year.
Yeah, I know you.
I'm sorry, thank you. That's important.
Okay, next is ordinance.
The ordinance committee met, Blake and I were there with one member of the public, and we slogged through about 5 sentences of the water ordinance as we move toward final ordinance recommendations. The only other item under ordinance is that we want to flip the meeting times of the ordinance committee and the public relations committee to make it easier for Matt. So it'd just be moving the ordinance committee to 5 o'clock on Monday, the Monday of the meeting week, and moving the public relations to 6. I think that's going to work better for Matt, and it's the same, it works better for you, and it's the same for me, because I'm on both of those. So that's the ordinance committee.
Thank you.
You want to know what 5 words?
5 sentences. 5 sentences.
I'll wait for the book or the movie. Okay, next is public relations.
Oh, Public Relations Committee met. There were 2 members of the public plus a constituent who had a complaint. We listened in detail to that complaint, took up most of the meeting, and we proposed a 2-step action to resolve it. We have not taken those steps yet, but we will let the constituent know when we have done that. I actually thought it was a very productive meeting, hearing about a complaint of longstanding, and I thought it was productive.
I agree, it was nice, we took a big step in the right direction on that.
Oh, and we agreed, how could I forget this? We agreed to adopt the mission statement and vision statement that I read at the last meeting as a draft. So this is now a formal recommendation to the full board from the PR committee. Can I read it again, or?
Sure.
Okay. The mission of the Public Relations Committee is to promote and maintain public relations that encourage community participation and further understanding of the Indian Valley Community Services District. The vision then is we will maintain a process for regular review of complaints and suggestions, regular contact with civic organizations and other community groups, routine contact with the media. I think this is the last of the committee mission vision statements, so I'm hoping that on a future agenda, we can have them all together and enact them.
We should probably do it. Did you write that down, Jeff? You can go to that.
That's it.
Okay, thank you. Next is the ad hoc park committee, and they did not meet. Next is the ad hoc water committee.
Did not meet.
They did not meet. And last but not least is the ad hoc fire protection consolidation committee. And I don't know if that, is that committee even going yet?
There's
I think,
supposed to be on tonight's agenda.
yeah, we're supposed to elect the people that are going to be on that committee, so the people haven't been elected to be on that committee, so there will be no report there.
The next item.
Next item is a LAFCO, the Fire Protection Consolidation Committee selection. Board discussion and action. And I would like to volunteer for that committee. It's on IDESA, and it only meets once every 4 months, so 3 months.
I would too.
Okay, well, we made it pretty easy. We have to volunteers unless somebody else would like to.
Well, I'll move that, that the Indian Valley Community Services District is represented on the LAFCO Fire Protection Consolidation Committee by Brad Smith and Blake Summers. Blake Shelters, sorry.
Okay, Jane Little made the motion. Item number 8, that Blake Shelters and Brad Smith be on the consolidation committee for the fire protection.
Before you go any further, can I ask a question?
They got to second it, so there's a motion on the floor. It's just procedure.
I'll second.
Okay.
And seconded by Matt Castle. Any questions?
I thought you were supposed to pick the other members that were supposed to represent Indian Valley. I thought you were supposed to pick a firefighter and a community person that wasn't associated.
No.
That's for LAFCO.
Laughter with that?
That committee can pick a person at large, I think is the way it works. Once it's formed,
But it's not this board. Any other selection, and it's represented.
right, that's my understanding.
Thank
What,
you.
who has to be on that board then? Is 2 from the CBC services, 2 from Indian Valley Fire
Crescent Mills
Department?
Fire Protection District. So there'll be 2 from Crescent Mills, 2 from ours, 2 from LAFCO, and 1 at large.
How do you figure the 1 at large?
To break the tie vote, you can have, if you have 8, you have 4 and 4, if you have 9, you have.
That's selected
tiebreaker.
not by this group, but by the other people who are on the committee.
Oh,
We'll
that's,
choose an at-large.
See, if there were 8, you could have a vote 4 to 4, then what do you do? So the at-large is the 5th vote would go either way.
Okay, any discussion by the board on that?
Sorry, that was 6 and 7. 6 and 7.
Okay, if there's no discussion,
Do you know when the next LAFCO meeting is?
I do not. Does anybody know? Jim, do you know
Know what?
when the next LAFCO meeting would be?
No.
No?
I actually have a question. Where'd you get 6 and 7? 2 is 4.
Yeah, so there's 2 from this board, 2 from Crescent Mills, 2 from LAFCO, correct? And then 1 at large?
That's right.
Okay.
I thought it was 2 volunteer firefighters, right? That 2 and 2 volunteer firefighters and 1 at large. And I believe LAFCO meets on the first Monday of every month.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, there were some.
Over there at the Board of Supervisors room.
Okay, motion.
You've had the
Oh,
motion,
that's right.
they haven't voted on it.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, that motion carries. So Blake Shelters and Brad Smith are on the consolidation committee. for the LAFCO Fire Protection. Okay, item number 9 now is fire department report. Jim?
Well, as you saw, last month our call volume was way down. It is now going way up. We've already had 18 calls this month. So we're getting back to normal. We had one fire that we went to on a mutual aid agreement, and the two departments worked together. Well, the fire was in Crescent Mill, and we sent 2 engines and 8 people. We sent 1 engine from Greenville and 1 from Taylorville. And actually, they had 2 people showing up, and we fought the fire, which was great. We're glad we're there to help. We've had a couple of MVAs, and we had one here a few days ago that we were proud of ourselves. We had to do an extrication, and actually we did something that we just practiced on not too long ago. We had to remove a windshield out of the car to get a person out, and everything went fine. The auto accident was in front of the Oak Grove Motor Lodge. Our attendance in some of the meetings has been down a little bit lately, and the reason for that is we've had some people that have been maybe sick and others that have been away on vacation doing other things, and that's normal. We expect that this time of year, and I'm not worried about it at this time. We're getting ready for winter, and everything that, from our standpoint, is ready to go for the winter. Now, there was a question brought up about the fire truck not running. We have not had a fire truck yet that missed a call, and the maintenance that has been done on the trucks, most of it's been done by Dave Wattenbaugh and myself, and that's why you don't see a lot of things about it. And we have one truck that we have a primer pump that's bad, and the truck is in excellent shape outside of that. And the problem is that I'm trying to find a resource affordable to fix it. If I knew where to get the parts, I do not know where to get the parts for the pump. It's a 1968 Ford, and so we've got other trucks that can draft, and so we're not completely out of business by any means. And we have 2 other trucks that have the same pump on them, and we went over them and studied it closely, so we absolutely know what's wrong. And I'm going to Quincy tomorrow, and I know a couple of people there that might know something about it, and while I'm there, I'm going to talk to them and maybe get some advice or find out the best, simplest way to solve this problem.
Well, that's very good news. I think just in general, though, that the board of directors needs to see an equipment analysis of all of your pieces of equipment, showing its status and its readiness. And I'd like to see us implement a program that provides that information to us in a very, very efficient way.
We can do that. It's not a problem.
Like, what kind of analysis of what kind?
An operational readiness.
Okay.
You know what? Say that again, maybe I didn't understand.
Operational readiness.
You said operational readiness
Of the trucks,
of everything.
it's always ready. We've never missed a call, we had a equipment failure.
I still want to see Chuck.
Okay. Well, okay, I've got another thing I'd like to bring up. A lot of the communities are becoming fire-wise communities, and some up around the Alamo Basin are, and some of the other end of the counties are. Greenhorn Ranch, some. I would like to maybe make a suggestion that we could become a fire-wise community. And if that happens, I can have somebody here at the next meeting to do a presentation so you absolutely know what we're doing. And I think it's a good move. It's something that's better for everybody in the future.
Jim, could I ask, could you take the microphone and move it a little closer to you? They said they're having a hard time.
Okay, can you
They're
hear
picking
better
up real
now?
good.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I'm sorry.
Oh, that's all right.
So I would like to make that recommendation that we, I'll try to, and I can do that tomorrow, but it sends to the Fire Safe Council, and I'm the director on the Fire Safe Council, so it can happen.
Well, if you'd like to put that on the agenda, you can just check with Jeff. And
I
make
would
sure.
like that. Right now, I'd like to have it on the agenda. We're going to have somebody here to do it. Okay?
Okay. Question?
I wholeheartedly agree with the chief on that. I don't know if the board is aware of AB 744, which is a forestry plan to be able to reduce timber off of private property, but it's required that we be a fire-safe community, have access to be able to log your property, and fear of catastrophic wildfire, and you don't have to have a timber harvest plan to do it if you're just a small parcel. So there's a lot that goes into AB 744, and I suggest that the board should read that. It can make quite a bit of difference here in our community, reducing the fuel loads on private property.
Thank you. Hey, Jim?
Is there any, I don't have anything else to say except I'm going to a Fire Safe Council meeting in the morning. Any questions?
Yeah, I have a question. A little less than 2 years ago, we talked about the Fire Association forming a 501c3. What's the status of that?
All right, we can talk about that. All the paperwork has been done, the fees have been paid, and Dave, would you like to talk about that in a minute? He's the one that's doing it
We
for us.
filed our articles of incorporation, and we filed the request for the 501c3 through the IRS, and we're waiting to get the stuff back in the mail.
When did you file that?
First part of October, in Crown County.
This month? I mean, last month? Okay.
The articles of incorporation were in September.
Okay. And I have another question. I'm just wondering what your plans are for the $4,190 that are in that association account. All of that was raised by the community and presumably is available for equipment or whatever. I just wondered what your plans are for that money.
But that's how, a lot of that money has been spent and has been spent on apartment shirts and things like that, you know. So
But that's what's in your account right now, in your bank account, according to John Rowe. That's what you have right now, $54,190, and I think 26 cents.
Okay, part of that now, that account came about when they bought that one truck in Taylorsville, and Nev had something to do with that.
And these are your fire association accounts. These are the accounts that when you have a fundraiser and the money goes into a fire association account, which will, very soon, I'm looking forward to it, be governed by the 501c3. But I'm just wondering what plans you have for that money at this point.
Well, we had maybe buy a new piece of equipment or something, or other things that we might need in the fire department. And money.
So it's like a contingency fund right now?
That's what it is.
Okay, thank you.
Do you mind, sorry, did you say $54,000?
$54,190.
$54,190 is just sitting in the bank? Sorry, my voice is giving out. That's what I heard.
That's what it is in the Fire Association's combined accounts, according to John Broke, who is our independent bookkeeper and who has access to them.
Thank you.
Question?
I would like to thank the fire department for what they did to get Carol Humphrey out of the vehicle, to get her out safely. And I just wanted to let everybody know that she is doing very well. I feel like she's doing better than what she was before the car accident, other than the fact that she doesn't have a vehicle. But I just am very grateful for everybody's hard work and that they got her out safely. So on a positive note, I wanted to thank everybody very, very much.
Dave?
I'd like to dovetail on that one, which is that in the last 3 weeks or 4 weeks, there's been 2 major accidents in front of her house and my house, which is there next door practically. And her hotel, I just lived 2 doors down. And they had a collision when a lady tried to pass the logging truck. They were really room. And they both ended up in a ditch, just completely dismembered these cars, and everybody walked away, leaving kids in the car seats. So I'm not even sure you guys were called out on that.
With what?
I don't know if you're sure you guys were called out, unless I saw the ambulance there. But everybody was standing and walking around, and kept right directly in my driveway. I mean, so I wanted to say, if anybody has any reason to go fast as they leave town, not there. So enough of that.
Please talk to me because I'm trying to get the speed reduced in that particular area because it's highly dangerous. There's been numerous animals hit in that area. Within a 10-day period of time, we've had 2 major accidents in that area, and people are not going 55. They are going faster than that, and they are passing in that area. So if anybody is interested in that, Dave, please talk to me, because I would like the speed limit reduced.
My question, that was my comment. My question was, how does a nonprofit reconcile $54,000 just sitting in an account? I mean, I don't know if you know the answer to that, or if you do. But I mean, as a nonprofit, generally speaking, you spend the money that you bring in.
No, that's not true. As a lawyer, that's not necessarily true. So just, I mean, it's not only, we're getting really far afield, and that, it's not that simple. I've formed several 501c3s and dealt with organizations.
I just wondered briefly, the idea was to save enough money to build a new fire hall. And funds being saved since 1933 to 2014. And at one point, some of those funds.
Yeah, I'm not being critical.
I'm just saying, well, that was the idea. That's a great idea. Money to do that.
See if we can leverage that.
That'd be great.
Okay, Jim?
Thank you.
Any other questions?
I have a comment. I used to be a fire commissioner for many
Yes.
years when we had commissioners over in Tialisca. And one thing that I realize I'm willing to put in some volunteer time on is to hopefully next year sometime, and I can maybe do that, Ms. Jim, is start getting some green numbered signs around our district.
Okay.
And I just was thinking about it, and I haven't talked to anybody about it, but I think the way to do it is to start at my house and go down the block and then spread out into the countryside. What do you think?
Okay, I'll comment on that, because I've got right now, and Donnie's one of them, that we have time we're going to put up, and I haven't had time to do it, and that's the next And there's other things we have to do, and one of them is get with the county, because there is a road right away so much, and we have to stay off their encroachment. So the idea is to put them right at the edge of their encroachment, and they're all gonna be a specific height and a specific sign, and they're not gonna be nailed on trees like there are a lot of places. They're gonna have their own posts, so everything is uniform. And the height is 4 feet, and the reason for that is when they plow snow, you don't bury the sign, you can't find it. So those things are in place, and what I have to do is get back to the county again. And some places that we're gonna put signs, it's easy to drive a post. Another place is gonna have trouble because there's a lot of rocky ground. But we're gonna figure out a way to do it.
Well, I'm just talking to volunteers.
Good.
Okay.
Okay, and I've got equipment here to start right now. And the other thing is the fee for it. See, we've got the numbers defined already, and we purchased those a while back. And then a lot of things happened and it didn't happen, but I'm with you. I'm for it to happen, and that's not gonna be too long before it does. Because it helps medical people too. Helps everybody. Okay?
Jim, are these for individual houses? Are these house numbers for everybody? They are? Cool.
You put them right on your driveway.
Awesome.
And some people in town here, we have a couple of them that put them on their house. That's good and that's bad, because we're trying to put these, in your case, it might be better on the house, I don't know, but we're trying to make a uniform thing so that everybody can look at it and absolutely know where they are or where
See
they're
it in
going.
the headlights as you come in.
And the headlights, there's a lot of issues there. Okay?
Awesome.
Any other questions?
Hey, thank you, Jim. Okay, next is the solar project financial report. Ron Stolpen. Actually, he's sick, so that item is off the agenda. So he's not going to make it tonight. Tomorrow, his boss and his company, Michael Howard, is supposed to, Jesse and I are going to meet with him tomorrow and look at the site and just talk about financing. I do have something that he was going to talk about that I will just go over, which is the timeline on what all has happened so far.
Page 10 of 46.
Okay. Let's see, number one, memorandum of understanding between Indian Valley Community Service District and North State Solar Energy was completed July 10th, 2014, and signed by myself, Brad Smith. Number two, membership into the HVAC program with Solar World. This allows the Indian Valley Community Service District to save on soft costs of an RFP approved as a member in August 2014. What that does, in having joined the HVAC program, allows us to, they purchase things in bulk, and they purchase a lot of different things, and being a member allows us to go to them and buy things that we may otherwise have to put out the bid, but if they have them, they've already been through the process, and it's been vetted that we could just go right to them and buy. And it's generally they claim at a reduced rate because they are buying things in bulk, and they're not out to make money. They're just out to help other government agencies. And so anyway, we're a part of that program right now. We've been approved and got our ID number too, I believe. Number three is tour of the in-phase microconverter headquarters in Petaluma. Jesse and myself went there in what was that, September sometime, I believe. There's no date on it. And then number four, PG&E application, the Local Government Renewable Energy Self-Generation Bill Credit Transfer Program. September 30th, and, beg your pardon? Okay, whatever it is, 23rd. And number 5, Indian Valley Community Service District submitted our financials to them, and they received them on October 3rd. And then the next steps that will happen is a finance model briefing and approval. And then permit submittal, they're 90% complete on the permit. They need the finance model approval before we proceed with permit submittal. So they're 90% through with the permit. And number 8 and last is to start the installation. And they have sometime in early 2015.
You know if we've seen a copy of the permit, or are we going to see the permit application?
I don't believe we've seen one yet, and I would imagine we could see it if we wanted to. As far as you know, have we seen it?
The permit?
Yes.
No, I haven't seen the permit, it's not done yet.
Right.
We need to finance it, see it, but I haven't seen the project.
Yeah?
I was just wondering, I mean, you have an MOU and they're supposed to come back with this completed proposal for a loan on by the board to actually do the project. Does that already happen or is it something that's in the future?
Well, we need yet to vote on, we voted on all these things, well, some of them. What happens next is to vote on the financing that they present. And at that time, if we accept the financing, then it's, yeah.
Number 2, with the membership to the I'm guessing that's
HGAC.
You said it's something about purchasing. I thought this question was asked directly. Everything is supposed to be under warranty, 25 years. So
Well, it has nothing to do, it's like if we need a pump, if we need some pipe, if we need, Jesse, go ahead.
That's for the initial purchase of the system. And also, because we belong to this now, it was required for the purchase of the system. We're going to get the system through this bid process. But once we belong to it, what Brad's talking about, we can use this membership to purchase other things for other departments, the fire department, for example, or any other department that we operate. Where usually we have to go out to a bidding process. This is an agency that's already gone out to bid, and their prices are accepted as you can go directly to them instead of the bidding process. Does that make sense? They've already done the bidding process, and they brought it into the pool for go-to agencies to purchase from.
I guess I was confused. I thought that you already took into account everything. They're supplying you with a complete package, including your fire department. Everything is included within this package.
This actually joining this is a bonus. It's above and beyond. It's got really.
But
Once the solar's in place and everything's all paid for, we'll still belong to HGAC and.
But you shouldn't have to purchase anything. That's what I was understood.
No.
Everything's under warranty.
This solar system, we are purchasing through HGAC if we decide to purchase it. The way it's paid for is payments go to them instead of PG&E. That was discussed before. So in order to buy from solar, through solar, through these North State Solar, they belong and they have been vetted by HGAC. They've already been through the selection process.
I got you.
So that's why we don't have to go there.
And then number 5, the financials received, Indian Valley financials. What financials? I thought the audits are on the issue today. So I'm not quite sure what financial did you turn over on the 3rd when no audits had been performed.
Jesse, would you like to answer that?
We handed over unaudited financials, what we had.
Just as an aside, I love the fact that this district is purchasing a solar system.
The whole solar
I mean, we're landing on comments and we're buying solar systems, it's great.
Okay, that's all I have say about the solar and,
Brad,
oh,
Susie has a question.
oh,
I just have one question. I think the thing that surprises me is we had so many questions yet about the solar system and how it was going to function and work, and to me, it seems like it's a done deal. It's going through the finance, and I thought we were going to have more questions answered about the actual procedure and financing and the value of it after 10 years and the depletion of power and all these other questions that we had. But it seems like now it's just going. Is this final? I mean,
well, when Hans was here before, he answered questions about that as far as the integration of the system over time and other aspects that you mentioned. At this point, Jesse, it's just, well, go ahead.
That's exactly what was supposed to happen tonight. That's why Hans was supposed to be here tonight, to go over the financials, what the dollars and cents were gonna look like to the penny, what we're looking at for payments, what the payback time would be. This is what they're working out to the penny, and what Hans was going to be here tonight to do, but he's under the weather and he couldn't be here. So it's tabled till next month, I'm assuming.
so do we put everything off until we hear from him, or what do we do?
Absolutely. There's nothing that happens until we get that information in.
Yes?
Was there a fee to join the membership of the HGAC?
No, unless, was there something in the, not as far as I know.
There could have been something, I'd have to look closer to answer that.
Okay, and then I think, is it Susie?
Mhm.
I think where Susie is going is, I know that at one point in time when Hans came and spoke, I know that we had several questions, I don't have that information in front of me, and I know that Jane had said we have 90 days to answer
Yeah.
these questions. And so, once again, I don't have the questions in front of me, but I know that the board approved to move forward, but the questions were supposed to be answered in 90 days. And so
Yeah.
maybe that's what she is referring to. I know Jane had mentioned that we will get those answers, but once again, I don't know what the questions were at this particular time.
That's true. That's what I understood, that we had 90 days and the questions were supposed to come forward and be answered and invented more, I thought.